What is a Scout's own service? Hey, ScouterStan. Want to talk about Scout's own service. But before we get into all of the details about that, I want to personally thank you for all of the things you do for scouting and on this channel. Oh my gosh. I really appreciate your input. If you have suggestions or questions, you gotta let me know, and I will do my darndest to get it taken care of. So with that, let's talk about a Scout's own service. Now, a Scout's own service is not very long. It's usually about 15 minutes. It's a short recognition of a service. They're made up of a mixture of religious prayers, reflections, and music. Many Scouts' own services are actually based on a theme, such as friendship and using resources wisely, or just fairness. This might also be connected to a certain camporee or camp out or national event. That could actually be a part of the theme. It's important to make sure that everyone knows that a Scout's own is open to everyone. This should not be thought of as a replacement for a Scout's service, normal service. This also does not satisfy the requirements for any particular religion. If you have a chaplain or a priest that's part of your Scout leadership, they could actually do a full service. So it really depends on the situation. Now, there are certain elements of a Scout's own that are very particular. Now, although there's no set format, there are certain elements that should be considered. And just like anything else in scouting, there has to be a beginning, an opening, a middle, and an end. Okay? That's kind of important. Of course, at the beginning, the very opening, you want to make sure that the theme is explained. A lot of times this is done simply by a song or a reading or an opening prayer. In the middle, you might want to include a reactive reading. Discussions, meditation, even moments of silence could be put in the middle of your service. Always be thankful in your prayers. And of course, at the end, a closing prayer would be appropriate. Try to touch upon the elements of your theme and remember to leave it on a high note. Now, there are typical elements within your planning process for your Scout's own. A call for the gathering should be something simple, but it lets everyone know that you are beginning your service. Invocation. This opening prayer is critical to setting the theme for your Scout's own. Songs. Make sure that you use songs that everyone should know. Knowing the lyrics is important, but also knowing the tune. That is just as important. Scouts are not known for their singing ability, so that's something, but when we lift our voices, that's an important part of a Scout's own. Prayers. Inviting participants to offer up a prayer in their faith is a wonderful way to mix the whole thing together with your theme. Make sure that you talk with them before they actually do the prayer. Reactive reading or responsive reading. If you do this, you will need to have it printed out in handouts, okay? So you got to think ahead of what your kind of responsive reading is going to be. Parables and stories. This is a wonderful way to evoke to your theme the meaning of your Scout's own. Meditation. Time to reflect upon the theme or the story or whatever is going on with the Scout's own. Benediction. This can be simple as a closing prayer or thoughts. Now there's many times you can actually do a scout zone. I've been traveling with scouts and they just stopped in the parking lot of a McDonald's. Everybody got out of the bus and stretched our legs, and we had our own scout zone. Totally fine. Okay, we sat there and sang songs. One of the leaders brought a guitar, okay, so he could play the guitar, and that was just, what a blessing. It was a wonderful thing. And in 15 minutes we were done, and we got back on the bus and went on our way. Scout Zone also encourages scouts that are not active in a faith to maybe think about get active in a faith. It's all a part of being reverent and being thankful for scouting and for your leadership. I thank you every day, okay? I want you to know that. You are within my thoughts. I really appreciate all you do for scouting. So with that, I will see you on the trail.